So I'm standing next to James and Kate's, well, it's actually the EcoCars stand. Great guys who supply a lot of cars, second-hand cars, all the way from down from Orkney, but anywhere in the country. But this is the Twizy, which actually did the trip from Aberdeen all the way back down to here with James. And we'll be talking to James in just a second, because he wants to say thank you to people.
How you doing?
I'm good. So I put up a link to your charity donations yesterday.
Just read that.
Yeah, why not put it in front of the camera because people need to know about this.
That's what it's for. If I can zoom that in, look.
Yeah.
That's for Alice and Jan and family. Yeah.
So we've had a lot of click-throughs. I know quite a few people have donated, which is it's an amazing cause. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So Alice is the 21-week-old daughter of a gentleman called Jan, who is a fellow YouTuber, a really, really great guy. You can follow his journeys on. His name is Jan Bart Spang. He's all round Ireland, and he's done a few trips to Austria as well. He's part of the Renault Zoe Owners Club. Sadly, they had a little girl called Alice, and her heart isn't working quite as it should. I think it's about 15% of what it should be, so really quite low. What we're trying to do is raise money to support the family, as they're having to spend a lot of time away from their workplace, and it's looking like they're now going to Germany, and that's gonna bring in more expense. So we're raising awareness for this. We're trying to get people to donate. Anybody who walks past, I'm sort of jumping on them and getting them to scan the QR code, and to a lot of people's credit, they are doing that. We've had massive donations. I think we've had about £2,000 in the last week, I think.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. So I really appreciate your link and what you're doing. So really, really happy with that.
Well, we'll put the link down again in the show notes of this video as well.
Yeah.
But you've done an amazing thing, this journey down to here.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like I say, it's character building. Chris, who's sadly not here today, he's had to go back up to Scotland.
On the bike?
Not on the bike, not on the bike. But I will be driving this back to my house later today. For him, it was horrific. The weather at certain times, it was like biblical wind and rain coming sideways, and at times I saw him almost being blown off into hedges and blown off the road. But he managed to crack on, which I think was the hardest of the two. So he's done really, really, really well.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for your time, James.
All right,
and
no
good luck
worries
with the rest of this.
All right, thank you very much.
So I've been joined by Jerrry from Gridserve. So what do you actually do at Gridserve?
Hi there. Yeah, so at Gridserve Sustainable Energy, we're developing the forecourts of the future, electric forecourts for providing dependable, reliable, convenient, ultra-fast and economic EV charging.
And that sounds a great vision, and what I've seen and what you're planning, it looks like you're going exactly the right way with this. So how do you differentiate from what's actually out there already?
Well, we've come from a background of developing several hundred megawatts of solar farms, so we understand that actually access to the grid is the biggest constraint to being able to provide this convenient and reliable and fast and economic EV charging. And so we use our knowledge of the grid and looking at substations to find where there's spare capacity on those substations, and then we use GIS mapping tools to look at where there are busy roads, high areas of population density, and a whole host of other factors. And based on that gives an idea of a hotspot for where there will be people who will be EV drivers, who will be looking for this very convenient and reliable charging. And that really is constrained by, in terms of what is available already, by the fact that if you want to charge multiple vehicles at over 150 kilowatts, actually it's not possible by converting petrol pumps into electric charging points.
So your vision is not this 1 and 2 charge points like we've got currently at most of these places. It's a lot more than that.
Absolutely right. So we're looking at sort of a blueprint which will have somewhere typically around 24 ultra-fast chargers, and by us that means 150 kilowatts and above. So the electric forecourt that we've just put in for planning application in Braintree and Essex, which will be the first one, that will have 12 chargers which will be wired up ready for 350 kilowatt charging. So that's ready for the Porsche when it comes. I haven't got mine on order yet, but they will actually be 150 kilowatts to start with, and then we'll also have 150 kilowatt chargers available as well, and then a bank of chargers for people who, I have a Nissan Leaf right now, not a Porsche, and so my Nissan Leaf really won't be able to cope with 150 kilowatts. So we'll have other chargers available for AC charging and lower rate.
So when you mentioned the Leaf, will you be doing CHAdeMO as well as CCS, or is it purely CCS?
We're looking to be able to charge everything and anything. So, we see that actually CCS is becoming predominant, but for sure at this stage in the market, we know we need to be able to charge every vehicle at every time. So
one of the things which comes up a lot with CCS is the reliability, and people having a lot of issues, particularly on the service stations, getting charges, be it i3 owners and iPace owners not being able to charge. Obviously, you're coming to the market fresh, so I guess you're using newer technology which is going to be a lot more reliable in that respect.
Well, so dependable and reliable is certainly a key part of our proposition. We're using chargers manufactured by some of the leading manufacturers in the world, as we mentioned, 150 kilowatts and above. But because our sites will also have a retail site, we'll actually have people on site. And so therefore, if somebody does have a problem for whatever reason, and this is a new industry, for whatever reason, there will be somebody on site who will be there to assist.
So I kind of see your vision as the service centres of the service stations of the future, because you're talking about having the chargers, but also, as you say, having retail, and you're talking something like, I've got the impression it's like an airport lounge type approach.
Yes, that's right. So we recognise that if people are going to be ultra-fast charging in 20 or 30 minutes, then it's clear they're not going to sit in their car. And so we will have a building which will have a convenience retail, it will have a coffee shop, and then upstairs it will have, as you mentioned, an airport lounge style area to relax, to do some work. And we'll have an opportunity, maybe a fitness, maybe a small spa, maybe a haircut, all sorts of things that actually to make use of that 20 or 30 minutes rather than thinking of it as dead time.
That's a really clever idea. So you talked about targeting these in high areas. Is this going to be major roads, or?
Yes, that's right. So if we take Braintree, it's a kind of a typical footprint where there's a dual carriageway around the edge of Braintree. So that trip count is probably 40 or 50,000 vehicles a day going on that dual carriageway. Within 5 miles, there's probably around 10,000 people. There's a business park just being built to the north of our site, and there's a horse racing circuit just to the south. So it's these kind of sites where there are many, many people transiting every day, which will be targets.
So what's your sort of aim for number of sites?
So we've got around letters of authority on around 100 sites so far, and our aspiration is to build out a network that actually means that people wherever they are in the country will be able to go to a Gridserve electric forecourt.
And how will people pay for their electricity at these forecourts?
So two key things about the electricity. Firstly, all of the energy on site will be from our own renewable energy produced, so it will be from our own solar farms, either co-located with the electric forecourt, or where the land doesn't allow that, it will be located somewhere else, and we'll use a sleeve power purchase agreement from that site to make sure we're 100% renewable. That also means that we'll be very economic with the pricing of our charging, so we're not going to charge an arm and a leg for the convenience of ultra-fast charging. But we aim to be as open as possible, even to the extent of, if people are still carrying cash around in their pocket, to finding a way of being able to take cash payments.
Well, that would be amazing.
I'm not sure how many people will need that, but we're thinking that actually, of course, the reality is that for most batteries being fully charged, and with the kind of pricing we're thinking of, that it should be possible to use contactless payments. And so, whilst that is not the major way people are using to pay these days, we want to make it as transparent and as simple. So no RFID card, no special code, none of this rolling up and wondering whether your phone works or the app works or whatever. Let's just make it very simple. If you want to come and charge at a Gridserve electric forecourt, we'll be really happy to welcome you.
That sounds really good. Now, one thing we've talked about to some of the other energy providers, some of the other charger providers this week, is the concept of plug in and pay. So using the vehicle identification to pay. Is that something you're looking at as well?
So that's going to be determined by the charger manufacturers, and so absolutely we see this VIN recognition as the new standards. I'm afraid I'm not one of those guys who can reel off all the standards by number, but we recognise that is the way that the Charin group in particular is looking to make sure that they go. And so we want to be we're relatively technology agnostic, so if that technology exists, we'd certainly like it on our forecourts.
Fantastic. So we've been asking everybody about this question. So 2022 is a date which has been quite significant in the planning for EVs and like. Yeah. Where do you actually see us being in 3 years' time, particularly around the infrastructure side of things?
So we'd like to think that we'll have a network of well over 100 electric forecourts up and operating, which provides a very coherent network across the country. We are confident that the number of electric vehicles that will be able to super fast charge or ultra fast charge at 150 kilowatts and above will start to become key parts of the market. Additionally, we see light commercial commercial vehicles being able to charge very fast and being more vehicles available. And our electric forecourts are future-proof to be able to take those vehicles. So we've got space already for if you're towing a caravan or if you're driving a Tesla Semi, that's already taken care of in the design of our forecourt. So we really see cutting and pasting the model we've developed with a natural evolution of some of the technology that will become apparent in the market over the coming years.
It's brilliant. I was just thought it was just crossed my mind as we were talking there. Obviously, this is EV only, so the chance of being iced on one of your chargers is highly unlikely, I guess.
So there will be parking spaces on our Gridserve electric forecourts for people who just want to come and park and rest up. Yep. So even if they have an ICE, there will be bays that they'll be able to come in. They won't have to walk across a muddy field to come and find it. That will be convenient because we'd be pleased to welcome them into our shops, of course. But also another part of our electric forecourt is that we will have in the mezzanine area, we'll have like an electric launch pad, a marketing area, so that for companies that want to showcase their electric vehicles, there'll be an event.
There's a great range of cars in the market, and they're all quite expensive.
Yeah.
There's no real £10,000 car, but there's going to be £50,000 cars, but £10,000 alone. And how we get to that point. And I guess that's what you're saying, the small battery, slightly shorter range.
Yeah, so the main cost driver on the car is the battery. It's up to 40% of the total bill of materials cost of the vehicle. So that really is the thing that drives all of that. And the way that we make it cheaper is by making the battery smaller and by making it out of cheaper materials and by building it with incredibly efficient, very high volume manufacturing processes. And that's the journey we're on at the moment.
So that's been a challenge for you. You've got all these great things you're working on. How do they get into production?
So at WMG, we're a bit unusual as a university department that we work very, very closely with companies to make sure that what we're doing in the labs transitions into the real world as easily as possible. So we've got research partnerships with companies like Nissan and BMW and Jaguar Land Rover, quite a lot of the companies that are making batteries and the components that go into those. And we make sure that as we're doing our research, those companies are working alongside us, in many cases with engineers on our site working with the researchers. That means that when we finish our job, they can carry straight on with theirs. They don't have to go and find a research paper that's been lodged in a library somewhere and work out what it all means.
That's really good. So if people want to find out more, someone fancies coming to be part of your great team, how can they find out more information?
The best one is contact us through our website. We're at WMG at the University of Warwick. We're always recruiting good researchers. We've always got opportunities for people to come and study with us on master's programs and PhDs. And we've got lots of companies that we work with that are looking for good employees as well. So please get in touch.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
I've been joined by a group of iPace owners, which is
international.
Really international iPace owners. So would you like to introduce yourself? So we'll start with
please.
Well, I'm Nick. I live down in Kent and I got my iPace at the beginning of January.
I'm Ian, I live on the south coast of Hampshire and I got my iPace in March.
Miguel from Paris. I got my one of the first iPace since October 2018.
And people who follow the iPace forums will know you as EMGF.
Yes, I am.
On the forums. A very frequent poster and very vocal on some of the things which have been going on.
Well, I'm trying. I am.
Yeah. So how have you actually haven't bought your iPace because of the charging problems and charging?
Well, I went to the Art of Performance show a year ago in Paris, near Roissy-Charles de Gaulle in the certification center of Portugal. And for me, it was my first Jaguar, my first sports car, and I would say my first race car. And I would like to use it as a race car here in Silverstone. This is my ambition, but as a sports car, it's fantastic, and I've been lucky. No bugs, it worked perfectly, and I hope I can really come to Silverstone, or I have to go to Nürburgring. I don't know, one of the two.
So I was talking to another gentleman who's come over from Belgium today, and he actually has brought his iPace over. And he said he's had a real nightmare charging in the UK because he can't use the Polar app, so he can't use the Polar chargers because he can't download it. And obviously in the UK, the Polar network is about the only reliable one for the iPaces, although I had some issues last night with it. So I think you made the wise choice not bringing it this time, but next time we'll have to see if we can get you on the circuit.
Yes.
So interesting, you don't have a charger at home?
No, I don't. I live in the center of Paris, so but we have some sort of a green mayor in Paris, so we have some infrastructure, and I cannot complain. I can charge every night if I want, and it will cost like £100 a year. A year, I mean, it's free almost.
So what's the best thing that you like about your iPace?
Best thing I like about it? I like a lot of things about it. I like the thoughts. I like most of the things I thought I would like about it. I think before I received it, I was worried that I might regret it actually, because on the forum there are an awful lot of people moaning about a lot of things, but I actually haven't really experienced those things. So.
I think that's generally the thing. Is looking at any online forums, Facebook posts, people tend to only post negatives. And everybody I've spoken to here who's got an iPace has been generally really impressed with it, confused about it. Yes, there are negatives and problems, and some of those may get ironed out, but yeah, that's generally the impression I've got. So I'm glad you've got that as well. So how have you found charging?
Well, yes, before I got it, someone who's had an EV car for some time gave me some advice. He said that how to cure range anxiety is to open SatMap, other applications are available, and go through the suppliers and untick electricity. And I laughed about this, but actually that is completely true. The charging on the electricity network has been appalling, and they have the motorway services completely locked down. And I managed to go from Exeter to Reading the other day without a single working CCS charger. Now once you stop looking at them, just drive a little way off and go to Polar or Instavolt or any of these other quality suppliers, it works absolutely fine. So I've just removed that from my life, and now I feel a lot happier with it. It's fine. Most of the time, on an average week, to be honest, I charge it on the solar panels on the house, and that gets me through an average week. Now I'm up here, I've driven 100 miles here, so I'll have to charge it on the way back.
How do you find your charger? Waypoints in the SatNav system
I'm using SatNav.
SatNav's perfect in the UK. Not so much the rest of
You call it charge map in front.
Yeah. So yeah, I tend to use that.
But out of your phone, and then you can transfer the waypoints to the SatNav.
Well, you can type them back into the SatNav, I guess. I generally know where they are, so
So how have you found it?
I thoroughly enjoy driving it. Frustrations have been a few niggles. 13 miles after picking it up, the warning came up to say that the coolant level was low. Turned out that they had a dodgy header tank which needed changing.
And that's something you don't think about, it's coolant.
It was a coolant, two little header tanks. One does the cooling system, the other does the motor, and one of them had to be changed. It turns out they have got a problem, and I think it was a case of a bit of a recall on other iPaces. Blank screens every now and then, but
Every now and then.
every now and then, yes.
And then what?
Well, I find the worst was where it actually packed up completely, and the heater was on full. But the only way I cleared it was to turn it off completely, lock it up, and like reboot it, and then it restarted, and it was alright.
But you know, in 9 months, I never had an issue with the black screen. Maybe because my car was not built on a Friday, I don't know.
I've spoken to 20 iPace owners this week. 15 of them had black screen.
15 of them?
Yeah.
The biggest frustration I've had is the timing of the charging. I want to use off-peak electricity. I just have done. I've had electric cars for like 4 years now, and I found that the charger timer on the iPace is very badly designed. It's been incorporated into the preconditioning for when you want to next drive the car. That should be separate. The other cars I've had, that is a separate entity. Two chargers, two timers it should have, independent.
It's interesting, he's talking with the engineers behind this decision.
Yeah.
It was a planned decision, but they actually felt it was too, most people's charging times were too complicated for the general public.
Well, they should have talked to EV drivers. I mean, I've got around the problem by installing a timer on my charger supply.
I've installed a Zappi charger.
So it only turns on the because my off-peak is split 2 hours peak, back to 2 hours, two hours off-peak, back to 2 hours peak, and then 5 hours off-peak.
So are you able to get the iPace to stay dormant enough and actually go on charge and switch it on?
You do not turn on the preconditioning. Have that turned off, and then as soon as the charger starts up, it starts charging, it stops again, and there are no issues.
Because those very big they've been using preconditioning, I've heard of people having problems actually getting them to stay in the negotiating mode long enough to actually work on those sorts of things. So time charging is something that I think everybody who does that experiences.
And charging to a state of charge, a specific state of charge. But I don't use any of the software on the car at all. I just ignore it and do it all. Yeah, I do all of them exactly. That's it.
So if you're doing a long run, it's not necessarily the charge of 100%.
Yeah.
We have quite a good range, and so unless I'm doing a long run, I'm not worried if it cuts out.
Charge speed. So if you have the choice, go for it. You go for a longer range or an iPace which will charge, say, 125 kilowatts.
I think the speed of charging is very useful. If you're doing a long run, not having to hang around for say an hour.
In a world where you can pull into any motorway services, plug in and charge for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and actually acquire some charge and then move on, then the range is far less important. When you might need to keep trying again and again and again to find what works, or drive a long way out of your way, then range then becomes more important.
So do you say that's a long-term problem?
Yeah, not at all a long-term problem, because people just seem to be overrun if they don't implement something new. BP, with their various guises, are bringing out large numbers of chargers, so it's all going to change in a year, definitely.
But I think that they should implement what Mercedes is doing with the EQC and now Tesla, which is the preconditioning of the battery temperature before you fast charge. Then you are sure to get the speeder straight.
Certainly if you're navigating to a charger.
Yeah, I don't know if. I guess if they read the forum, they should know that it is on the air.
It's been fine. It's bigger than it looks, I think. I find that when I try and park it, rubbish out. I still haven't got the hang of it though.
Don't talk to me about reverse.
Certainly service less because the wheelbase is long. I've noticed that. In manoeuvring I do on the driveway, I'm having to do a shunt.
But for city parking is very wide.
But it's smaller than the Tesla, which I looked at in the test drove. So I decided something similar to the Tesla.
I've got a sort of lightweight drive. I sort of turn a steep turn, and then it's about that much either side of the road to go down. So I really notice it. It's very regional. It's interesting that it's where I live in Southampton. The council have been installing free-to-use chargers in almost every car, including tiny little car parks that have 50 spaces or 30 spaces. There'll be 2 charge points in there, all free to use. So just plug in. But it's not everywhere.
Because fast AC charging is something I wanted, and I asked Jaguar would they give the option of fitting a larger onboard charger, something like up to 22, because it would be nice to be able to use the 22 kilowatts that these AC chargers put out, and hence charge at the rate of 60 mile in an hour, a mile a minute you could be adding if you
go to the stand of Jaguar here, you can see that they stick to their corridor, which is 0 to 80% in 40 minutes. Everybody say it's not true, but it is the same.
That's an 100% charge, 100 kilowatt charging.
From 0 to 80% at 100 kilowatt, and it's that you double that if it's only 50 kilowatt. We are quite far from it, because if you go 0 to 50% state of charge, it's not going to do it. You have to go beyond up to 80% at 100 kilowatt.
Yeah, indeed. So, but on the 22 kilowatts, this must affect. You don't have a home charger, so it doesn't affect you. But for Europe, the fact that we haven't got three-phase charging on the iPace must be a major restriction.
Yes, it's very strange that, because the European market is much more three-phase for everything.
Yeah.
And it's difficult in some European countries to get a 30-amp circuit, whereas a three-phase circuit is quite often available, and it does seem to have been an odd decision to have made. Because it also means that you can, things like Tesla destination chargers are useless because
some of them you can use, not all of them.
But when you do, because there are 3 phases, you actually
You only get 7.
a tiny bit of power.
Yeah.
It's very slow.
Well, I'm going to ask Jaguar again to see if they would entertain it, but because people are waiting. If you read the forum, people are waiting.
Can you ask Jaguar?
Well, maybe this forum thing I've been invited
Yeah,
to
because
join.
he's got more input.
So this will be something I will bring up.
So just cover that off because people on the channel may not know what that is. So Jaguar are basically inviting certain owners to join a future of the iPace forum type thing.
Yes, and I've logged on and then you can read, but it is a bit of a closed forum. I realise that you have to have a password and your email account, and they're covering various subjects. They're asking you to what you think about this and that, and people are responding. Hopefully they are reading it, and it'd be interesting.
I'm sure they are reading it if they've set it up.
As they've set it up, yes.
If only there was a forum already existing.
Yeah.
Well, I did wonder whether it was a way of getting the people who are critical to get them off the public forum onto their private secret forum. Yeah.
It could well be. Okay, so question: next iPace, what changes do you want to see? I mean, obviously talk about 3-phase charging.
Yeah, because many of the chargers I've been using for the last 4 years are 22 kilowatt, and all of them in Southern Ireland are.
Yeah.
And to park up as you would in a car park, a destination, and where you're going to stay an hour or two, it'd be great to come back and find you've added, well over 100 miles range to your battery, rather than sort of rather puny 20 an hour.
I think for me it's very close to having a long enough range to being usable. Now I could drive it less like a hooligan, but what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
But I think if you could get to the point where the real range was 300 miles, that would change a lot. A lot changes between 200 and 300 miles.
Yeah.
You are in a place where you would need to stop for a longer period. And maybe the charges will go away, but coming up here today, I'll probably need to splash and dash stop somewhere. It would be nice to not need to. So I think that would be my thing. It would be nice to just, and that'll probably happen, but the battery technology moves on every day.
Yeah. I think if most people I talk to, the first thing they always mention is the entertainment system, which I know is going to change because we know Jaguar have got a new entertainment system coming out. My one slight worry about that is that will they forget about our current version of it, because it's going to have to support 2 entertainment systems. It's going to be an interesting concept for them.
But I think also I would like the charging rate of the e-tron.
Yes,
which is
double,
the end of Jaguar.
That's what I was asking.
And the onboard charger at least 11 kilowatt. Because when you are in the middle of nowhere, you just have these chargers.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Okay,
Well, the Audi e-tron offers it you pay to have an extra charger. Upgrade, can't you? It's a logical way of doing it. Why doesn't Jaguar do the same?
And I think that would be a really good thing for Jaguar to do. And it's also financially good for the dealers, because obviously we've spoken a lot about in my channel about the dealer network and how it's really difficult for a dealer network to survive in the world of EVs, because they don't get all the service revenue they get from petrol cars.
I mean, I in my last email to Jaguar before I received the car, I actually asked him, would it be possible to upgrade and pay for an upgrade, but they didn't bother responding.
Well, it's going to be model to 2021. For 2020, I think there is no difference.
No, 2020 there won't be a distance. 21 is probably going to be.
Have they actually said they're going
No,
to do
I don't think there's anybody who's actually said anything.
There's a lot of people wishing it would have them, but I don't think Jaguar have actually.
So, I mean, the other thing which I could see them doing, because they tend to do it on every single model they do, is doing an SVR version, unlocking a bit more power.
Whether that can be done software on the onboard charger, I don't know.
Well, someone did say to me yesterday, and this wasn't a Jaguar person, but someone who might know some stuff, that maybe they could actually offer you to pay a bit of money to unlock it over the air. like Tesla did.
And you have an experience of software over the air?
I haven't dared to turn it on.
I have updated it, and it went all right. I rung I found it very advantage to ring and ask to speak to an iPace technician. You can do it on the car. You press the button, and the assistance people. But I had the number anyway. Well, it's the number on the mobile app.
But the button's really good actually. They are, if you get the right person on the button, you get a lot of help.
But you just ask for an iPace technician.
Yeah, mine has been recalled for the braking.
Yeah, I've had the same.
And they said when they do that, they will update.
You receive the letter.
Yeah, the letters are starting to go out. Since the recall's been out for a month and a half now, the letters are starting to go.
I brought mine with me if you haven't seen it.
I never got one. So. But that's probably because mine's a contract hire car, so it's probably gone to the contract hire company.
Oh, very crisp paper, isn't it? Quality. Yeah.
Well, at least they're going into the garage. The garage is being paid for to handle the recall, so they probably won't mind doing your upgrade at the same time. There are a lot of battery management incremental changes which have happened, which most people haven't got. So that's probably a good thing to do.
And you know what type of modules are included in the software upgrade? Potentially can they upgrade all the modules, or some battery management systems are not recommended to be upgraded?
So my understanding on Soto is it's only telematics and the infotainment system which can be done over the air. You kind of understand it with the battery. It'd be very difficult to do the battery over the air because they've got to keep it on charge while they're actually updating the management system. Getting your owners to make sure they're plugged in while they're doing an update may be a dangerous.
So have you tried any of your on a 100 kilowatt charger?
No, there's only the one, isn't there? So
yeah, well, yes. I mean, I tried it once, and of course the iPace doesn't show you like other cars do what it's charging at its rate. The only thing I could look at is on the app. It tells you a percentage of the charge, and it did go over 100%.
So if anybody's watching from Jaguar, we would really like that.
Well, I mean, it seems that of all the other cars seem to have it to tell you what rate you're charging at, except Jaguar. It tells you what time it's going to finish. That's very helpful. Yeah, well, that's something, I suppose.
I normally use the charger itself to tell me that.
Well, I mean, really, the mobile app, if you've got a connection, it tells you more information than the car itself can tell you.
So have you tried the app that our fellow forum member's been writing, WhatCat? So it's actually, I think it's going to be a very good app. I mean, on my phone, he's got some tweaking to do on it, but I'll just bring it up and show it to the camera as well. So this actually has one advantage over the standard app, and it's actually got the tyre pressures on it.
That's the Norwegian app?
That Dev, yeah. So he's doing a really good job of it, and I've looked.
Send me a big list of questions.
Yeah.
I passed them to Jaguar. I don't know what
But I mean, he's obviously working with the public API, which is very open and working well. I've actually had a look at his code; it's really good. So I think it's going to be a very good app going forward.
You connect directly to your car?
Yeah. I've checked the code first to make sure it's okay. I've got a lot of experience in the industry, so I know what to look for security.
So it is secure, this thing? Yeah.
He's just using the standard APIs, but he's not storing the password or anything like that. It's just going straight through to the API. So, and basically what happens when you use the standard API, you get a token back for 3 days or so.
On the security side, I had the Jaguar ring me up and tell me my car sent out an alarm when I was going over on the ferry.
Yes.
And they told me what to do when I returned. So I did it. I went into the app and turned on the transport mode, and I still got a call to say that the car was sending out an alarm. It turns out the Jaguar, at the security Jaguar, they said that that didn't work. I should have turned on the service mode. I mean, this is the Jag security themselves, but it was good to know that the our security, our tracker system does work, because I mean I've had a tracker before, paid for it, and never knew if it worked or not. But this was an interesting experience
Yeah, I think-
on the ferry.
Interestingly, I think the whole security on the iPace is actually one of the things they got right.
Yeah,
And we're one of the few cars which can't be stolen using the
that's good to hear.
Boosters.
boosters. Yeah. How long that will stay the case?
I still have the problem that the alarm goes off every time I go to Sainsbury's. I don't know what's going on.
Well, just
The
Sainsbury's.
key in the pocket, it sets the alarm off.
Oh yeah, for the you're the one who did the Sainsbury's.
Loop scan.
Yeah, I found if my key's in the same pocket as my phone, it won't operate the car. I had to put it in the other pocket.
Actually kind of makes sense though. In the signals
it
you
blanked it out. Yeah.
But, I think that is good. Good we got that. I don't know. So, I mean, some people have suggested, like Tesla, we should have a pin to start, just in case at some point someone does manage to get the relay hack to work on our cars.
Yeah, it would be an option, wouldn't it, to put in a pin? Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time today.
You for the first iPace owners live.
Yeah.
And then see you next year.
Yes, we'll have to do this again, for definite. Thanks, guys. Thank you ever so much. Really great group of people that was. Thoroughly enjoyed that chat. You can see I'm on my way home now. Stopped at an instavolt charger in Northampton, but an interesting challenge getting to it, as you can probably see behind me. It's yeah, the gap wasn't the easiest thing to get through, but yeah, let's see if I can show you that better. So you can just about see here we've got a lorry with some things in the back, and then we've got another lorry parked there. But at least they did actually leave a gap in between them. But yeah, the intervolts worked pretty well. If you've not tried one of these before, they just take debit, cardless payment, contactless payment, and then just press the start button to get them going once you've used your contactless payment. Excellent stuff. And it tells you how it's charging. So I'm going to call it a day at that point, and had a very good time at FullyCharged Live. I hope you enjoyed the content. I'll speak to you soon.